Hey guys, it's Natalie, otherwise known as the Northern Lass, and today is Wednesday the 21st of August.
You know what that means.
The day before Results Day. And to be honest, the only thing about Results Day that I'm actually looking forward to is going to Nando's with my family. And later on in the video, I am going to be predicting my GCSE grades and talking to you guys about how I'm feeling. But firstly, just take a look at this. This is what the stress of Results Day is doing to me. Let's go and sort my skin out. So now that I have sorted my skin out for now, I am going to be cleaning up my bedroom because it is an absolute mess. So I've just finished having my tea, and I heard that the grade boundaries for the BTEC Level 2 first are now up on Edexcel's website today. So I decided to compare last year's grade boundaries to this year's grade boundaries, and the grade boundaries have gone down by 1 mark. So last year for the music industry exam, in order to get a distinction you needed 41 marks, and this year you need 40 marks to get a distinction. I am glad that the grade boundaries have dropped slightly because me and pretty much everyone in my class found it difficult. Like, I literally came out of the exam crying, so it was really hard. So right now I'm about to go to my grandma's house and I will see you guys when I get back. So I've just got back from my grandma's house, so now I'm just going to sit down with you guys and predict my GCSE grades. And this is nothing to do with what my teachers have predicted me to get. It's just how I solely feel based on how I felt when I came out of each and every exam. So firstly for maths, I thought paper 3 was definitely the hardest paper. And you know when people say to you that the mocks are harder than the real exams, that's not correct. I personally thought the maths papers in the mocks were actually easier than the real exams. I don't know why. I think I did cry towards the end of the exam, especially on that 6 marker about them angles, and I didn't know what I got for X, but it was bloody hard. So with that being said, I'm predicting myself to fail maths, so I'm predicting myself to get a 3. And then we move on to English language. So the first English language exam was quite hard for me, mainly because I ran out of time on section A, but I believe I spent too much time on section B because by the end of my extra time for section A, I think I only wrote about 2 paragraphs for the final question, which was 10 marks. But then paper 2 went a lot better than paper 1, so I'm predicting myself to get a grade 5, but if I get a 6, I would be absolutely over the moon because I worked so hard for English language, especially because I'm planning on doing it as an A-level if I get into my first choice of sixth form, which is a grammar school. English literature was a little bit iffy. The paper on Macbeth wasn't as bad as I was planning on it to be, but the poetry anthology was hideous. So my teachers tell me, oh, revise nature and place poems because love and war's probably not going to come up because Educast has done it for 2 years in a row. And no, what comes up? A wife in London. And then for paper 2, I did A Christmas Carol and Inspector Calls and Unseen Poetry. The Unseen Poetry and Inspector Calls was absolutely brilliant, but the Christmas Carol question was pretty hideous if you come and ask me. What did they ask me? Well, they asked me, how was the Cratchit family important in the novel? And I could only write about Tiny Tim, Martha, Mrs. Cratchit, and Bob Cratchit. Again, I'm predicting myself to get a 5, but I would absolutely love a 6. For science, I did triple science at foundation tier, and with foundation tier subjects, the highest grade you could get is a 5. So for biology, I'm predicting myself to get a 4. I thought paper 1 went quite well for me, and then paper 2 was a little bit harder, but I think I did okay. And then for chemistry, I found both papers difficult, not to the extent that I couldn't answer any questions, but it was just quite difficult, so I'm predicting myself to get a 4. And then physics. Paper 1 was brilliant, it was such a good exam, and then paper 2 went downhill. It was pretty difficult for me. So I'm going to predict myself to get a 4, but I would absolutely love a 5 in physics. For history, I did 3 exams, so paper 1 was medicine in Britain, and that was absolutely brilliant because pretty much the majority of the exam was about the Middle Ages, and you could literally just put God Squad and you'd probably get like the full 16 marks on a 16 marker question. And then that's when it started to go downhill because paper 2 was like Paper 2 for me was Cold War and Elizabeth I, and it was so difficult. I was crying in the exam, I was panicking, I couldn't remember who Imran Nagy was or whatever his name is, I couldn't pronounce it. But then when it came to paper 3, it rose back up again. And for paper 3, I did Weimar and Nazi Germany, and it was actually quite decent. So I'm predicting myself to get a 5 in history, but I would be so happy with a 6. Now, for music and dance, these 2 subjects are both BTECs, which means the majority of my grade is made up from coursework. However, for my music exam, I believe it was about 30% of my final grade was based on the music industry exam, which I personally found really difficult, as I said earlier in the video. So I'm predicting myself to get a merit. And then for dance, I'm also predicting myself to get a merit. And then finally, I have food, nutrition and preparation. Now, this was probably one of the worst GCSEs I've ever took because in year 10, we had a pretty useless teacher.
She barely taught us anything. She literally made us go on the computers for like a double period and expect us to know everything like that. No, honey, that's not how it works. And then she buggers off at the end of year 10 to train as a midwife. So then the deputy head has to pick up the pieces, learn the course and the training whilst, on the summer holidays, whatever. And then she had to teach us the whole course in year 11. Now, don't get me wrong, my year 11 teacher was the best thing that happened with that course because she was brilliant and she was so helpful. She helped me with my coursework, she helped me with my practical, and she helped me in my written exam. And I don't think I would have passed the course if it wasn't for the deputy head, so thanks, Victoria. But the written exam that we did, it was amazing. It could have not gone any better than that.
So I'm predicting myself to get a 5. So it's now 9:30, so I'm just going to go to bed and chill out, and then I'm planning on having an early night. Okay guys, so it's just gone 8:15 and my school opens at 9 to get my results, so I'm going to go at 9 o'clock just to get out of the way and done with. But I've literally made the stupidest mistake in the whole entire world. So I decided to look at the grade boundaries for EdXL Maths Foundation, and guess how many marks you need just to get a 4? 149 out of 280, and last year it was 136. Our exam board's even allowed to raise the grade boundaries that high because there is no way in God's earth that I'm going to be passing maths today. Anyway, so I look like a mess right now, so I'm going to get myself dressed and do my hair and wait for my friend because I'm walking to school with my friend Kiara to get my results. Hey guys, so we're on the way for results day. We're all shitting it, and I think we're all going to fail our maths except for Hannah because she's actually smart. So I've just got home from school and I got my GCSE result. And literally all I did, I just got my results, spoke to a couple of teachers and then went home because I don't want to compare myself to other people, because I feel like if I did that, if I asked some of my friends like, oh, what did you get, and they got better grades than me, I would be happy for them, of course, but I think it would make me upset because then I would look at my grades and be like, I'm disappointed with them. But I'm really proud of most of them. I think the only subjects I'm disappointed with are history, maths and chemistry. They're the ones I'm disappointed with, but the rest I'm really proud of them. It could have not gone any better than that. So I'm just going to say them here. And before I do announce them, I just want to explain that everyone has different expectations. So if you think that a grade I got wasn't good, but the grade I got I feel like is good, don't be salty in the comments because I will just roast you with my sweetness. So yes, but I am really proud of what I've got. I'm really pleased with the majority of my results. So I'm going to explain what I got and then I'm going to tell you guys how I felt about them. So music I got a merit, history I got a 4, maths I got a 3, biology I got a 4, chemistry I got a 3, physics I got a 4, food preparation and nutrition I got a 5, English language I got a 6, English literature I got a 5, and then dance I got a merit. So like I said earlier, I am really proud of my results. I've worked so hard for them. I kept my head down in class, I concentrated, I attended almost every after school intervention for my subjects. I didn't get any detentions, I worked hard. And yes, I haven't got, 7s, 8s and 9s, but I don't want them grades because I'd rather have the lower grades and have decent mental health than be one of the smart people in my year, get 7s in everything and have rubbish mental health. Even though I still struggle with anxiety and depression, my mental health is okay at the moment. I am managing it with medication and I am starting talking therapy. I don't know when, but I think I'm being referred for that at the moment. So I'm doing okay. So I'm going to go to my 2 sixth forms later and have a discussion about my grades because unfortunately I did not pass my maths. So I've got to resit that in November or next year, I don't know when. But I'm happy to do so because I was just 5 marks away from getting a 4, which I'm really upset about. But I know I tried my best and that's all I can do. And my family is really proud of me and I'm proud of myself. So for everyone who has got their GCSE results today, I hope you got what you wanted and I'm very proud of you guys too. So I've just got home from visiting my 2 sixth forms and I've been given an offer by the grammar sixth form. Although they did suggest that I did 2 A-levels instead of 3 because of the content and they were concerned about my stress. But tomorrow I'm going to visit my 2nd sixth form to make some subject changes because unfortunately I cannot do the psychology course since I needed a grade 4. So I'm going to look at the other options tonight and decide what I'm going to do for my A-levels. And that concludes the video for today. So if you enjoyed this GCSE video, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content.